A big thank you to MPB for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. If you're a street photographer, it can be really hard to decide what lens you want to use. There's a lot of lenses out there. There's a lot of people on the internet talking about lenses. The lens you choose can have such a big influence on your style as a street photographer. So today we thought we'd sit down and give this sort of guide of some of our favorite Fujifilm specific lenses for street photography, because we've used a lot.
What's interesting is we've been building a slide deck just before this video, and we've been looking at the same lenses, but our different uses of these lenses. Like, I think the photographs we take with the same lens are kind of wildly different, which is interesting. Yeah. So I think even just looking at those pictures and talking about that could be interesting.
Get messages all the time just about what lens to use and why. So I think, yeah, maybe this will be useful, right? Well,
no.
What
have you got there?
Well, I've got this. This is a lens, silver lens.
Yeah.
This is a 35mm f2, which is the first lens on our lens deck.
Do you want to pull up the lens deck? So one of us has been to design college, and you can take a guess at which one of us designed this.
There was really no need for that. I said to you, do you want to jazz this up? And you said no.
No. Default font.
Yeah. So this is the Fujifilm XF 35mm f2 R WR, which rolls off the tongue. And it's a 53mm equivalent full frame field of view. It's 6 centimeters by 4. I mean, it's just tiny. It's a small lens. It weighs 170 grams, which according to the internet is about the same as one Californian quail. You've used this lens as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've used that lens. I've used that lens a lot more than I thought I used that lens. And I was looking back at my Lightroom catalog, and yeah, some of my favorite pictures on a Fujifilm system have been taken with this lens. And that's kind of weird because I don't really remember enjoying using it that much.
Well, it turns out you got some certified bangers with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a small lens. It's so easy to carry around. So I found that I just had it on me all the time. I was using it with Next Pro 2. And what else did I have? Maybe the XT2.
Yeah.
So because it was just a small package, I had it all the time, which probably says that you're probably going to get more interesting pictures with a camera you have on you all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And a beautiful depth of field, even like f2. People think you only need 1.4. I mean, you're obviously pretty close to that guy in the hat, but it's kind of that's why I like this lens so much. I think it just has the most pleasing depth of field. Like the portrait of this guy, I've talked about this a lot, but you don't want too shallow. You don't want just his eye in focus. This has all the details and then a pleasing amount of context. You don't want to lose too much context.
Yeah, and you don't want to have like his nose in focus, but then his eye out of focus if you're shooting with one of the F1.2 lenses or 1.4 lenses. I'm usually at f2 or f2.8 anyway. I think you are too. You're probably f 5.6 or something, are you?
Honestly, no. This lens always sits wide open because it's just so sharp. It's just so sharp. It doesn't and with the XT5, you can shoot at what was it? 1/8,000th of a second mechanically. So I just leave it. Yeah. I don't think I've ever shot it in anything other than wide open.
But then again, there is something about the APS-C because like an F2 on APS-C isn't quite like an F2 on full frame, right? It's F4 maybe.
Yeah. I think it's just one stop difference, is it? I don't know.
We don't know. We should have done some research before doing this video. But there is that difference there. But yeah, so I know one thing that puts people off this lens is that if you have a Fuji system, you're maybe a bit worried about shooting at night, right? And you're worried about high ISO. So you want a faster lens. But I mean, this shot on the bus, that was a very, very dark scene. And that's just there's a light source there, but that's a pretty dim light source from an interior bus light.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty clean shot at f2.
When did you take that though? That was 2019?
That was 2020. That was February 2020, just before the event occurred.
The thing is, even the denoise technology has come along so far since then. That's not even a worry anymore, is it? Really, I don't think.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
do you use it much?
Denoise in Lightroom. I use it whenever I mess it up. There's some shots you kind of mess up the ISO, especially if you're playing around with a new camera or something like that. I find that I'll come back after thinking I got an absolute banger of a shot, then I'll open it in Lightroom and I had it at f16 or something. Sometimes it happens with lenses where you have a manual aperture on it. It's me anyway. Maybe not you.
Never, mate.
Never.
Always, mate. Always.
You ever really fucked up a shot like that?
No, mate. Sorry.
Not one time. Just me. Great.
No, I'd say most days. Most days, yeah. And sometimes in quite important situations as well.
Yeah. But F2 is plenty, right?
It's a good lens. It's very reasonably priced as well. If anybody was reaching out to me and said, I'm going to buy a Fuji system, what lens should I get? I always say this because I'm like, it won't let you down. And it focuses. I think it's like the fastest focusing Fuji lens I have as well. Fujifilm lens.
It's a nifty 50 on the Fuji system.
The niftiest 50th.
Most of these are from the underground as well, which also speaks to that issue of shooting at night or shooting in low artificial light. These are on the X-T2, pretty old Fuji sensor on a 35 f2 lens. Totally clean, very happy with these. Yeah,
I had no idea you used this lens as much. I didn't know you had this lens as much as you did. I thought you shot everything on a 56.
Yeah, me too. I was just going through my Lightroom and just filtered by lens type, and I was like, surely I didn't shoot that on that lens. Yeah, I did.
What do you know?
What else is there?
Now, this is another lens, which is one of the smaller f2 Fuji primes, the 23mm f2, so 35mm equivalent. And I've like rolled in the X100 series into this section as well. This is like, if I don't know what the situation is going to be like, I'll reach for this because it's a 35 full frame equivalent. It's like the most versatile field of view, I think, in my opinion. You've shot with 35 a lot, and you kind of, it's like me, just kind of like come back to it, don't you?
Yeah. I just wanted to, for reference, same weight as one green woodpecker.
Green woodpecker. So I'm not. Yes.
You never explained that. I shoot with 35 a lot, but I only started doing it when I moved to Leica. And I never really gave it a chance on Fuji.
I think it does lend itself to like a rangefinder style as well as on the X100 series. Like if I'm just going to go out for a walk and I don't know what I'm going to stumble across, I think a 35mm is just a safe bet. It's not the most exciting field of view. Like something wider is definitely more dramatic. You're going to increase your chance of getting something. But if someone's like, I just have to have one lens, I can only afford one lens, I think recommending a 35 is a safe bet because you can photograph family, you can do events, you can shoot street on it, you can do portraits with it. I've shot portraits with this lens on the street. It's not the most, you don't get the most like shallow depth of field, but it still does the job. You get that extra context.
Yeah, I mean, for that kind of environmental portrait where you're trying to include the graffiti and a full body shot, it's perfect for that, right? Someone who uses 35 really well, I think, is Niall McDiarmid.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously who I was trying to rip off with this street portrait.
But like when I see his street portraits, I'm like, God, I should use 35 a bit more. Yeah, I never really used it on Fuji, although I did use the X100 6 or 5, one of those for a little while, and that was fun. I think it works really well in the X100 series when you can see through the optical viewfinder. I think it works well on the X Pro series as well.
That's true. What's next? We've got another 50mm, but it's different. Why is it different?
I've got it on an X-T3 here.
Nice.
So this is not the size of whatever bird. What was the bird? Californian quail.
That's one. This one juvenile hedgehog. No, that's the fun. I don't actually have a. No, there's no equivalent for this one.
Okay, just a little bullfrog of a lens. You can see how big it is, like compared to the body of the X-T3. It's just a little bit too chunky for an APS-C format. It's not something I feel comfortable carrying around my neck. I don't think it would sit very well on an X Pro 2, but it's quite nice if you're looking for something like this shot here, which was a commissioned portrait of Christopher Chung from Slow Horses. Yeah, it worked pretty well for that. And the optics in it are really good. Like some of the best optics on Fujifilm systems, I think.
Would you say it's a Roddy good lens?
No, I wouldn't say that. Because I don't make puns, Josh. It's a lower form of humor.
I know it's a bit bigger, but I think it's kind of like would shine on like their XH series, the series with the bigger grip. I think that's more for their like DSLR style body.
Yeah, maybe that's what it's made for. Although, no, I think why they made it was because they wanted to redo those lenses for the bigger megapixel sensors, right? The 40 megapixel ones.
Yeah.
And being able to shoot it wide open and having a very well resolved image on this lens works really well. I just feel that like if you're going to shoot a commission and you're getting paid for it, you want something that has really good optics, and that's why I ended up getting that. And I used it on and some stuff in the London Underground and the commission in Florence for a hotel chain. If you go to the next slide, it does have quite a nice character. Like I think it's a bit distinct from the 35 f2, and not just because it's f1.4, kind of a nice rendering to it.
I like that it's a slightly wider as well. I think that does appeal to me a bit about it as well. 50mm can be a bit limiting. It's only marginally wider, but
yeah.
Is it closer to 40mm? And what's the actual full frame field of view of it?
I didn't.
50. This is actually bang on 50, yeah, because the other one's a bit longer. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you feel that the 35 f2 is a little bit tight sometimes?
You know, I don't, but I think part of it is because it's such a small setup as well that I can quite easily maneuver with it, you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely a psychological aspect to it as well.
Yeah. Like one thing that's happened to me recently is that I'm using the 43mm lenses on 2 different camera systems, and then I go back to 50 and I'm like, I'd forgotten how to frame a 50mm shot. So I'm using the Q343 and I've got the 55 on the Hasselblad, which is a 43mm equivalent as well. So
I'm imagining from like your chest down, you're just tripping over cameras and lenses.
Yeah, if only I could think of some way to sell all these cameras and lenses easily.
There's one place I think that could work. So we've both been using MPB for years now. Whenever we get a hankering for a new lens, want to try a different focal length, or feel like testing out a new camera body, we always head straight to the MPB website. They've got a huge selection of used kits, all individually graded for condition, individually photographed, and backed by a 12-month warranty for peace of mind. It's super easy to search, compare prices, and find exactly what you're looking for, whether you know the lens you want or you're just browsing for inspiration. If you're thinking about checking out any of the lenses we mentioned in the video, head on over to the MPB website. You can see from our selection that we both really love using a 50mm equivalent, particularly the 35mm f2 or Fujifilm's nifty 50. It's a small, light, sharp, and fast lens, which makes it really versatile for everyday shooting. And it's kind of fun to see how we use this focal length differently and how it suits our own styles of photography. We'll talk a bit more about it at the end of the video, but if you're thinking about changing gear or you'd like to try something new, head on over to MPB's website through the link in the description. So, we've got the XF 56mm 1.2 R.
Yes, and I think it's safe to say this is probably my most used lens on Fuji. I didn't realize I'd taken 72,909 pictures with this lens.
That's fucking mad.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is just aimless burst shooting because this lens is really difficult to focus. So I remember using burst mode, just hoping at least one of them would be in focus. I've got some shots I'm really happy with this. A lot of these are from my book, Fine Airs and Fine Graces, which I shot around London and Mayfair in around 2019, 2018. And it's kind of a romantic look at Mayfair and London.
Why did you stick to this lens for that amount of time and that much work?
I would say because I honestly stuck to this lens because I liked how it rendered. It didn't look like a digital image that I got from this lens. You know, it looked a bit more like a 1980s movie or something. You know, it was soft in parts. It was never clinically sharp. And I even liked how it was slow to focus because sometimes it just wouldn't focus on the thing I wanted it to. So I'd get an unexpected image from it. Like one of the things about digital photography that's kind of boring is that, especially with modern cameras, it's going to focus on exactly what you wanted to focus on. So you don't get home and look through your photos and you're not really surprised by what you see. There's not so many happy accidents, but with this, I got the occasional happy accident.
How is it using it on the street, like moving around? And it's quite chunky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Do I have it here? Yeah, I do. One juvenile hedgehog. It's really Yeah, it's quite big. There's a hell of a lot of glass in it. It's not really that heavy. I always remember it as being bigger and heavier before I switched to different systems where lenses were genuinely big and heavy. You know, Lumix and Sony and Canon. But yeah, I don't think many people would complain about the size of this lens. But compared to something like the 35 f2, it's pretty hefty. You've never used this, have you?
No, I mean, I've borrowed it from you briefly, but I found it makes me motion sick using a long lens while walking. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'd like to give it more of a go and do some like portraits. I do like doing like some full body portraits with it from a bit of a distance, so making it sort of like medium format ish look. Maybe.
Yeah, it's fun to use. I also have the newer version, the 56WR. You can see them side by side. I'll take the hood off.
So the new one's bigger.
The new one's even chunkier and kind of weirdly shaped, very bulbous. I don't know. I haven't used this enough to compare it to this, to be honest. That's why I don't really have any comparison shots. I just got it recently.
Beautiful work too.
XF56, yeah, one of my favorite lenses. If I was to go back to Fuji, I think it would be maybe to use this lens a bit more. Oh, wow, you got to zoom. You got to zoom in here.
Yeah, I know this isn't the most, people don't think these are good for street. I do. Well, this one I do because it is so small and light for a zoom. I don't think this is actually much bigger or heavier than your 56WR. 410 grams. It's incredibly light, incredibly fast, constant aperture of f2.8. I mean, full frame equivalent is 24 to like 85 mil. So you got so much reach. I picked this up last year. It's also pretty expensive. I think it's about £1,200. So it's a bit of but this was like a work investment. Like I've used this on commissions, but if I'm going to like an event or a day trip or something, I know that using this will get me the best like spread of photos for the day. Because you can get like wide scenes like this or like zoom in a bit. Like this one I stood on top of like a cliff. Real rip-off of a Martin Parr shot. I actually didn't realise he actually took a similar shot in the exact same spot until I got home. Shameless. And then it's like focuses incredibly fast. I was able to get this guy diving off in focus. Like I only had one shot of that. So yeah, it's a great lens. I think it's more of like a working photographer's lens really. So maybe it's not the most like street. If like someone was just want to start taking street photos, I probably wouldn't recommend they buy this. But I really like it. I was sat on my desk earlier and I picked it up and tried to take a sip from it because I thought, little anecdote there. Funny. It's funny, isn't it?
It's hilarious. You got too many lenses hanging around.
I do. I've got 3 lenses here. That's it.
So 16 to 55, is that 24 to 70 or something?
24 to 84 exactly, apparently.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good workhorse zoom range, isn't it?
Yeah, it's plenty. It's very sharp. You can get portraits with it. You can get like landscape stuff. It just does the job. Side note, but these images are actually taken from an air show in Eastbourne, which we featured in the latest issue of our magazine, which is available to order now.
Our latest issue, which we've been working on for a long time, that we have featured some of our favorite photographers. So we've got a feature with Alex Webb in this issue and Rebecca Norris Webb, who are frequent collaborators and husband and wife. And they wrote an article for us, an essay for us, all about their work in dislocations, which we're honored to have in the mag. I think it's one of the best features we've ever had in our print magazine. And yeah, loads more photographers in this issue. So definitely check it out. It's just gone on sale on Friday. And all of our previous print mags have sold out. So if you want to get your hands on that, get it quickly. Get it now.
Don't fuck about. The great lens. And I used it on a commission in Thorpe Park the other day and just, did the trick. Fast, easy to use, versatile. The only thing I have to remind myself is after I've taken a shot is to just quickly whip it back to the wide end. Because that way you kind of get this like muscle memory of how to compose with it. But if you leave it extended, it can kind of throw you a bit.
I find that when I use zooms, I end up just taking 90% of the photos at the wide end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% true. Wow. This last slide, desert island lens. If we had to pick one.
So to be clear, this is our desert island lens for Fujifilm.
Yeah. If you had to put everything in a box to sell to MPB and just keep one.
Oh man. I don't know. Looking back at the pics I got from the 35 f2, yeah, that could be one of my favorites.
Well, it's my favorite as well.
I think it would be. I think genuinely I'd probably just get that lens, stick it on an X Pro 2 and be done with it. And I'd be very happy with that setup.
It's perfect for the XT system. It just fits perfect. Look at this. You get a cool little lens hood.
Yeah. I think the other lens would be the XF56, but I don't know. I think if I went back to that now, I'd be a bit bored at that focal length. And yeah, like you said, the XF35 F2 is just a perfect size. This is almost like a hidden classic. And it's what we recommend to people if we meet them and they're asking like, what lens would you recommend?
You're going to buy one again?
Yeah, I don't even own one right now. Yeah, maybe I should. Are there any manual lenses, I wonder, that we could use on a Fuji system? Yeah, if you have any recommendations, leave a little comment.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.
See you next time.